Welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. I am on a quest to use the supplies I already own. And this hot mess that you're staring at right now is the beginnings of a layout that I'm doing for Scraplift Spotlight, a new series that is originated by Teresa. Her channel is For the Love of Papercrafting. So let's dive right in. I am looking at the most recent fall edition of Scrapbook and Cards Today for my inspiration. And on page 26, I am using this layout by Becky Adams. I love it. Love it. The way that she did the leaves cascading down, coming to a point, I just love it. I love the focal photograph. It's gorgeous. So that is what I took as my inspiration, is having this linear cutoff point, and then your embellishments just kind of trickling down the page. And of course it's leaves. You know I love leaves. So we're going to loosely work in that direction. All right. I did not have a single photo. I have two, so they're going to go across the top like that to make that big impact. And of course, it's the new post office that I'm working at. When I come out of the driveway and look left, this is left down the drive. And I spent some time die cutting out leaves and leaves and leaves, and screwed that one up, but we may still use it. Look, aren't these pretty? I just love them. And we're going to talk a little bit about the die cutting process, because we'll talk about that in a minute. First of all, I want to talk about using the paper out of this collection. Now, all of this is from Sunflower Market. It's a new collection by Cartabella. And the new Priscilla conserves paper. So what did I do? Looking at Becky Adams' layout, she used, let's just pull it back out and dissect it a little bit. She used tone on tone. She used gingham. Because her background is white, the papers that she used for her leaves, they needed to kind of pop off of that. And if she had used something that was a really white background, it was just kind of blended in. But everything she used, this is tone on tone blue, tone pink and red, tone on tone green, the gingham yellow. They all stand out away from that white background. So going through the collection, that's what I chose. This is tone on tone. This is tone on tone. Tone on tone. This is a check pattern. And the only thing that I selected that was not was this petite floral pattern. Or petite. There's greenery in there too. There's foliage and florals. But it's a small pattern. Because the pattern's small, it means it's more condensed design, and it covers up more of the white. So it kind of plays into that gingham. So where did I get all of this? When I bought the collection for Sunflower Market, I also got the coordinating cardstock. And when I was sitting here thinking about, I did not want to cut into an entire piece of cardstock just to die cut maybe 4 inches. So I gutted the cardstock. Now, the coordinating cardstock is always 2 colors. There's a different color on each side. And I wanted those colors. I didn't know which color I would use. So I wanted a little bit of everything when I was die cutting. There's 3. So I gutted those. And that left me with, I cut 3 inches off of this. That was the interior of what I gutted. I had some scraps from the last layout that I did, and I used those scraps for my die cutting. Coming along really nicely. This is a cut apart sheet. I found 2 more cut aparts that I felt like I probably wouldn't use, and I die cut out of that side. And this check pattern, my thought process is that I more than likely will use this as a base, but if I used it as a background, I could put photos over this area and you would never know. So I feel like I can still get a whole lot of use out of that one piece of paper. So I'm really happy with how I'm conserving paper so that I can get lots of use out of this collection. And I still have a lot left. I'm very happy with it. So now let's get back to designing the layout. When I was cutting out my pieces, I had these large maple leaf, and I wanted my large leaves to be the base, basically, and to make the big impact. Y'all know that drives me crazy, don't you? So we're just going to tack these down just so they'll sit still. Okay, now that's done. So I can kind of tuck leaves up under there, but let's get back to talking about these large leaves. Now, I've cut too many, and that's okay. That's what I wanted. But I had these red and yellow large leaves. I wanted that to be my base. I also have these floral. These are my large. And I want to make this kind of, I want there to be a loose pattern. I don't want red beside red. I don't want yellow beside yellow. I want there to be, I want the pattern to be broken up. So let's start building with our large pieces first. And in my brain, I wanted the red on the outside. And of course, this is not going to let me tuck the way that I want to. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a little bit of an embossing on that leaf. Can you tell that? I learned when I was die cutting that it would cut, but it wouldn't emboss until I put, as a shim, another piece of cardstock underneath my cutting mat. And that's what I wanted to share with you. To get that embossed relief, I needed to add a shim. And I love the effect. I just love it. So cute. Okay, let's get back to our building our base for leaves. So I don't want 2 maples beside each other. So we're going to tuck this one here and this one here. So we've started that. We've got our base. Now, we still have some large leaves that I can play with, that we can create. And remember, her design kind of came down into a V. We're going to start mimicking that with our large leaves, and then we're going to come back with the smaller leaves and fill in. So this needs a color relief. So we're going to stick that there. We're going to put this here. So all of this, most of this is going to be covered up, and it's okay. But I'm bringing everything down to a V. Snickle Fritz. Come on now. There we go. Okay, so we loosely have our V. And then we're just going to come back with these smaller leaves and we're going to fill in. It's just pure happiness. And just play. And what I'm looking for is just a little bit of different color, pattern. But I'm also looking at the fact that I just added in a pink, so I need to repeat that somewhere else. I have pink as my border, and then I've got pink in here. I have yellow, I have red, I have green. So now it's just fill in and keeping same patterns off of each other. So this is beginning to look kind of full to me, and I don't want it to be overwhelming. I want the focal to stay on the photos. There's going to be a little bit of journaling down here in the bottom, and that makes me happy. This just makes me happy. And as you can see over here, I still have a lot to choose from, but you know what? I can play with this later on another project. I don't have to use all the things right now. So we're going to leave it loosely like that. I'll have to go back and tack everything down, include my journaling. There are that train of thought just left me. It left the station completely. So let's move on to something else. I'm telling you, I truly cannot think and work at the same time. Or think and talk at the same time. I really need to just have my thoughts lined out before I start my project. Okay, so this is how the layout is going to look. I'm going to include photos of the completed layout at the end. Please go watch Teresa for the Love of Paper Crafting. Watch her layouts, complete her layouts. And Deborah Co. is also going to be participating this month. Please go watch her at her channel. And thank you so much for joining me in this project. We have one more video and we'll wrap this month up. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.